as a surplus, all because of the works of the Patriotic Front. The $3.2 billion that the Patriotic Front invested in the energy sector has borne fruits. Today, Zambia does not experience load shedding thanks to the works of the Patriotic Front. And today, many parts of the country are connected to the internet, and people are able to send money and receive money thanks to the Patriotic Front. Today, the government can seek to employ 30,000 teachers and 11,000 health workers thanks to the Patriotic Front, first of all, for building all the schools and universities and colleges. That is the basis for anybody to employ someone. And thanks also to the Patriotic Front for the 30,496 teachers that we employed during our tenure in office. Today we are proud of the works of the Patriotic Front because you can see how, for instance, Lusaka has changed. Just here at movie studios, I used to come here as a young man when movie just started. It used to be a busha, but now just you coming from the University of Zambia to come to this studio, you needed the escort because there was a bush. Today, this whole place has been turned into a city. What that means is jobs have been created for the young people and the women that are working in these places that have been created. It also shows that the Zambian people, because of the good policies of the Patriotic Front, have money in their pockets to build the buildings that we see, the houses we see, the hotels we see, the lodges that we see surrounding this whole area is as a result of the works of the Patriotic Front. So we are proud of our record in office. We thrived to have a government that put money in the people's pockets, a government that created jobs and business opportunities for our local people, not foreigners, but the local people. So we are proud of the works that we did as Patriotic Front, and we thank the people of Zambia for giving us 10 years in office. We were in opposition for 10 years, and then in the ruling party for 10 years, and we are back in the opposition. So it's not a new thing. PF has been in opposition for 10 years, and PF was in the ruling party for 10 years. So it's not a new thing for the Patriotic Front to be in the opposition. We are used. Sometimes I laugh when I see Banzatu. I'm not about, hey, opposition here. I say, I'm not in opposition 23 years. He said, not opposition 10 years. We know what it feels to be in the opposition, so there's nothing new. Right now, we are back to provide a service to the Zambian people as an opposition political party that is there to offer checks and balances on the new Dawn government. It's our job to provide checks and balances. It's a pity that every time that we raise issues of public interest, we are threatened with violence. I'm a victim just last week. Actually, this week on Monday, a statement came from the UPND provincial chairperson for the youths, Mr. Obvious Maliteta, who wrote a very strong statement saying that I'm trading on very dangerous grounds. What he means, and he goes on to say, they are war ready. In his own statement, he says they are war ready and they are battle hardened, and that people like me must watch out because we are trading on very dangerous grounds. So in short, Mr. Maliteta is issuing threats upon my life and threats upon anybody who is providing checks and balances to this government. They disguise criticism as insults. They say anyone that criticizes the president is insulting the president. And I've made it very clear that I've spent 23 years of my life fighting for the people of Zambia. And I've fought against the President Rupia Banda, President Mwanawasa, President Edgar Lungu, President Michael Sata, and I will fight against President Hakainde Sami Chilema for the good of the Zambian people. So I have word to Mr. Obvious Maliteta. We come from Karingaringa. Sitiopa bantu. Tiopa mulungu kwasira. Muntu wa moyo na nkanda na mulopa sitiopa. It doesn't matter how many times they try to threaten us, to shut us down. We cannot stop because one, we are Zambians. We have the constitutional right to ask this government to deliver on the promises they made to the people of Zambia. Vanarunama kuti vakawina unga uzankhala 50 kwacha. Vanarunama vakawina fertilizer izankhala 250 kwacha per bag. Vanarunama vakawina stiza kankhala kona salad yopimisa. Vanarunama vakawina unga uzachipa. Vanarunama vakawina fuel izachipa. Vanarunama vakawina wose vana vaskulu wakopa belt na University of Zambia, they will be given meal allowance. Vanarunama vakawina kuzankhala rule of law. Vanarunama vakawina, they will accept criticism. Those are the issues that we will keep on raising. And when we raise this criticism, it's not to insult the president. I've never insulted the president. I'll never insult the president. And I'll never insult anybody. But I'll be very strong in my criticism for the good of Zambia. So Patriotic Front has got 60 members of parliament. Patriotic Front has got hundreds of councillors and council chairpersons and a dozen of mayors. It is the job of PF as an opposition political party to provide checks and balances. And it is the job of the ruling party to listen to opposing views. It is also their job to accept to be criticized. It is also their job to know that those positions they hold, they are not personal to hold. The challenge I've found with the UPND is that they treat President Hakainde Sami Hichilema as a god. And that is very worrying for a person like me who has done psychology. They treat the president like a god, that nobody should criticize him, that everything he says is the truth, and that all of us must listen. And they behave as if the election of President Hakainde Sami Hichilema is the best thing that has ever happened in the whole world. And I've seen that kind of worshipping of the president is also getting to his head. I was listening to the president last week, this week, when he was holding a symposium with senior government officials. That symposium was a very excellent opportunity for the president to speak to those government officials of his vision for this country, his program on development for this country. He was supposed to use that opportunity to encourage them, to show them the value system that he has as a president and what he expects them to do and what his vision for this country is. Instead, the president used that opportunity to belittle and disparage all those officers who were there. He was talking to them like he's talking to just little kids, telling them off, despising them, just proving that they are below him. And that's extremely dangerous for a leader. It's extremely dangerous. I think that for the good of the president, he has to know that he is a president of the Republic of Zambia. He's not a president for UPND. There is no 1.8 million and 2.8 million set of people. No. There are 18 to 20 million Zambians that want his service. His role is to provide service to the people of Zambia. His role is to answer to the challenges the people of Zambia are facing. His role is to listen to the people of Zambia. His role is not to prove to us that he's above us and we are all below him. And I looked at that and I said this was an excellent opportunity that the president could have used to showcase to those government officials who are actually the implementers of government policy to say this is my vision, this is what I want to do for this country, and this is what. But instead, it was a show to prove to them that ndimwandani imwe PF ndimwandani alewerera potaka. No, it's not about Edgar Lungu. President Edgar Lungu is gone. He had 7 years. He saved this country. The things that President Edgar Lungu did are the things that this government must build on. Look, President Edgar Lungu inherited load shedding of 16 hours a day.
Let me capitalize on that now.
Yeah. So what this government must do is to build on what President Lungu and the Patriotic Front have done.
Yeah. Let me ride on your preamble, and we've also gone further to criticize the UPND, supporters out there, whom you feel that they are treating President Hakainde Hichilema like God, for example, a small God, like you said. But the question is, such kind of a message is coming from you, Mr. Antonio Mwanza, who also at some point really, more like hero worshipped President Edgar Lungu at the time when he was in power. It was you, among others, in the PF, who were telling President Edgar Lungu that don't worry about elections because what you have done, the works you've done, will speak for you. You be comfortable, go and stay in State House. We're here to do the works, and everything that you've done to this country will help you win the elections. And how do you sit there, Mr. Antonio Mwanza, with a moral fiber coming from a veteran politician like you and begin to condemn the UPND members or sympathizers who sees President Hakainde Hichilema as a leader of this country?
Yeah. Now, I was in UPND from 2001 to 2009. Okay. And we played a very critical role under Anderson Kambila Mazoka. Mwana Mungu, may so rest in peace. I was in FDD for 4 years before I joined the Patriotic Front. And I was the president of the University of Zambia Students' Union. Anybody who has followed my political career and public engagement knows that I am so passionate about defending this country. And I'm so passionate about speaking the truth and defending those that cannot speak for themselves.
Right.
And when I'm in the zone to fight, like I was fighting for FDD, or fighting for UPND, or fighting for PF, or fighting for the students at the University of Zambia, I do it wholeheartedly. But there's one thing I don't do, is to hero worship a leader, to mislead a leader, and actually to make them believe that they are infallible, that they cannot make mistakes. Our recommendations, either to our leaders at the Secretariat, or our leaders in the districts, the provinces, the constituencies, and our leaders at national level has been very consistent. And where we are wrong, I've always been one of those people to say this is wrong. For instance, I'll pick one issue, the issue of Kadarism. I came to this platform several times. I went to other platforms, and I raised the issue that Kadarism and the perception of corruption was damaging us. I raised those issues. I raised them on radio, on television. I could also raise them privately.
When you say perception of corruption, does it mean that are you doubting that your government was not as corrupt as it is being perceived? Yeah.
So before I come there, there's a difference between defending a leader and hero worshipping him.
Right.
Our colleagues get offended whenever somebody criticizes President Hakainde Hichilema. It becomes personal. And I've seen this from comrades that I have a lot of respect for. Educated comrades that I believe that they are objective. That they don't want to accept criticism. Now, President Lungu is one of the most abused presidents Zambia has ever seen. The level of insults, the level of mockery, the level of foul language that was coming from the UPND cadres on social media against President Lungu is unbelievable. And even his 7 years in office, his young brother who's taken over from him never recognized him as the president of the Republic of Zambia. He only recognized him after he lost power. Now, criticism should not be mistaken for hate. Just like defending a president or defending a political party must not be mistaken for hero worshipping.
When you begin to give figures,
the difference with PF
Director, when you begin to give wrong figures, for example, if you tell President Edgar Lungu that come January 12th we are going to win or we're going to beat the UPND with maybe this margin, that's not hero worshipping someone.
No.
You are giving that person fake hopes, like you were doing in your case.
No, it's not. And I'll be very honest, I'm happy that you have asked me that question. Let me be given an opportunity to clear it.
Yeah.
Like I said, there is no coach who goes to a football match and says, "Ugametienda kuenda ku Mairo, tiruza kuli wa Barcelona, tiruza kuli wa Namibia, kulibe." Everybody goes into battle with the hope that they win, and our job is to project the winning mentality. That's our job, is to project the winning mentality. And believe you me, we all believed.
It doesn't matter
No, we
whether
all
it's fake
believed.
or
No. I want to tell you. I strongly believed that we had done enough to win the people of Zambia's hearts. I strongly believed that. I knew there were things that people of Zambia didn't agree with. Issues of cadarism is one of those things that many Zambians were offended. Many Zambians complained.
But what was giving you more hope again that you were going to win the elections? You were able to hear people talking about corruption in your government. People talked about cadarism in your government. You know, but still more you remained hopeful that you are going to win the elections with about 70%, as you were, you know, dreaming, if I'm to describe it like that.
There's no government in the world that doesn't have challenges. Every government has challenges. And there's no system in the world that is perfect. And there's no country in the world where there are no problems. You always weigh the problems or your odds against your perspectives. And our message and our hope was based on the development record that the Patriotic Front had.
Right.
It was based on the hundreds of thousands of young people that were given scholarships to go and study. It was based on hundreds of thousands of marketeers that were given capital to enhance their businesses. It was based on the massive infrastructure network that the Patriotic Front achieved in the 10 years it was in office. It was based on the bumper harvests that we always used to have under the Patriotic Front as a result of good agricultural policies and the availability of farming inputs. It was based on the hundreds of thousands of jobs, both in the private sector and the public sector, that the Patriotic Front created in the last 10 years. I'm not saying the Patriotic Front was a perfect political party. No,
Right.
There's no perfect political party. The Patriotic Front had its own challenges, and it was up to us to deal with those challenges. I think we didn't deal with those challenges, and the people of Zambia said, no, you are not dealing with cadarism, you are not dealing with the perception of corruption, and for this reason, we are going to put you out. So it's a learning process. We have learned those mistakes that we made. Post-mortem reports have been done, recommendations have been made, and we did our job to make sure that we projected the positive side of the Patriotic Front. Our job was not to go out and tell people, we are losing. Actually, PF are loser. No, that's not our job. Our job is to project the Patriotic Front in the positive. So
I'm
we are
happy you've
proud of
mentioned
the
that
work
you've
we
learned
did.
a lot of lessons out of this. You know, I'm grateful to have that. But again, I want you to be courageous enough and face the people of Zambia and, you know, speak to the camera. What lessons, again, have you learned? Because, again, it was among some of you that were standing on different forums promoting tribalism.
Me?
You know, among, of course, we can talk about the Chandanyera, among others, those, the Professor Nkanduluo, videos are all over. You know, where those were messages which were somehow divisive to the country. President Hakainde Hichilema himself, again, some of you people, you never believed that he was going to become president. You called him all sort of names. Others called him a Tonga who never ruled this country. And today the man is in charge.
Yeah.
Have you learned something out of this tribalism, you know?